Hey, what's up, everyone? So, if you're trying to meditate, but you're constantly being hit with distractions and interruptions, I want to talk to you about that in this video by telling you why you actually need to embrace those interruptions instead of allowing them to frustrate you. I understand why it frustrates you. We're always thinking that when we're meditating, we're supposed to be in a total distraction free zone with no noise, no interruptions. And so every time we do hear one of those, it completely takes us out of our focus and we start getting frustrated. And if you're saying you're going to meditate for 5 minutes or 20 minutes, you end up just cutting it off at that point and saying maybe you'll try again later. And then maybe later never comes, and you end up breaking that progress that you have been trying to build. But the truth is, you actually want to learn to embrace all of these interruptions because what we're doing when we're meditating, as I've learned, is we're just focusing on this game of noticing when our attention drifts, our thoughts start drifting, and bringing it back to the present moment. So, if you're anchored by focusing on your breathing, or you're anchored on focusing on a word, when your mind starts drifting into errands that you need to run, things that you may have forgotten to take care of, this barrage of memories, sensations, whatever it may be, you catch that drift and you bring it right back to your focus. And when you do that, you start being able to catch yourself drifting either quicker or you'll have moments where you're very focused for an extended period of time, which is always a wonderful thing. And so essentially, what's happening is we are constantly being distracted in this path of meditation, in this practice of meditation, but we're being distracted in a way that's internal, where our mind just kind of run away from us. So think of these external distractions, these external interruptions as the exact same thing. Instead of being aware that our thoughts have drifted, just know that we heard a clank in the other room. And instead of being focused on our breathing, our mind is now focused on that clank. What is that clank? Why did that clank happen? Who's making that noise when they know that I asked everybody to be quiet and now I'm here trying to meditate? Why is this dog barking? What's going on? These are all really essentially the exact same thing as our minds drifting. It's just an external stimulus that's grabbing our attention in this case. So think of it as just part of your practice. While you're focusing, you hear a car, somebody honks the horn, your mind will jump to that horn and it'll start adding a storyline to it. Wow, what's going on? I just started meditating. Who's doing this? It's that neighbor again. It's that neighbor I can't stand. It's always that person. Whatever your mind starts running away with, just realize, wow, my thoughts are going deeper and deeper into this direction. Let me bring that back to my breath. Let me bring it back to this word that I'm focusing on. And that way you'll realize that it's just part of your practice. Just like internal distractions are going to be part of your practice, external distractions are going to be part of your practice as well. And I know it's easier said than done, easier thought than done. But when you look at it this way, then you could potentially be grateful for these things. Yeah, it's always nice when you have total silence and you get this opportunity. But just understand that there's always going to be interruptions. And when those interruptions come, that's great too, because it just gives you an opportunity to use those distractions as part of your practice. Use those distractions as just another means to be aware of when you're drifting so that you could go ahead and bring it back to this moment. And that way you won't look at it as a reason to stop meditating, right? And you could also use this as an opportunity to not place judgments on your meditation practice as well. I know I've done this a lot. I would constantly label it. Today was nice. Today wasn't nice. Today there was way too many distractions. Today there were no distractions at all. And I start putting this label of either good or bad on my practice based on things that were very much outside of my control. Just know that every day We're going through the process. We're going to be here in this moment and we're just going to observe it without the labels, without the judgment. And we're going to focus on what's within our control, which is being consistent. So don't flip out next time that dog is going nuts. Don't flip out next time you hear kids jumping and banging. Yeah, it's not going to be ideal. And I know it's something that we probably wouldn't prefer, but it's all part of the practice. And just remember what we're doing when we're meditating is essentially just gearing up for the game. There's always distractions when we go out into the real world. There's always going to be external stimuluses. There's always going to be a million reasons for us to pull away from our focus. But when we're out in that real world, we can't say, hey, there's too many distractions. We're going to withdraw. We're going to be out there anyway. So it's better to be out there, be prepared, and be armed with as many opportunities as we can to say, hey, here's another reason why my mind is drifting. Let me go ahead and just bring it back to this person or bring it back to this moment. So that's it for this one. If you've dealt with a lot of interruptions and you've had to learn how to navigate this, I would love to hear from you. But otherwise, I'll talk to you in the next one.